welcome to English Pod. Today I'm here with Erica.
Hi, Marco.
And I'm Marco. And we're bringing you a great elementary lesson about a situation at an office.
That's true. Today we're going to learn some phrases for asking for time off.
Right, asking for time off.
Or asking for leave.
Asking for leave,
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to give you some great phrases and vocabulary for when you want to ask for leave. So let's just listen to our dialogue today. We're at an office where Liv wants some time off.
Mr. McKenna, do you have a second? I need to talk to you about something.
Sure. Liv, what can I do for you?
Well, I was just wondering, you see, I know I've used up all my vacation days this year, but my sister's getting married and the wedding is overseas and, well...
You want to take some time off, is that right?
Well, sir, I was just hoping I might be able to take some unpaid leave this year.
What dates are you planning on taking off? I'll need at least 2 months' notice so that I can plan for your absence.
I was thinking of taking off from September 1st until the 30th. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I guess so.
Well, it sounds like the boss wasn't too happy about Liv's request.
Well, she wanted to take off for 30 days, so...
I guess that is a long time.
It is a long time. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some great words for you today, so let's start with our language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
4 words on our language takeaway today. Erica, why don't you tell us the first one?
The first word is vacation days.
Vacation days.
Vacation days.
So what are vacation days?
Basically, it's the number of personal leave days. So the number of days that you can take to go on vacation.
Mm-hmm. How many vacation days do you have?
Yeah, I think I have not so many. I only have 10 vacation days.
10 vacation. Well, in some countries, there are 10 vacation days is normal. In other, I guess, it's 10, 15, even 20, I've heard.
Yeah. Well,
vacation days.
We can't take too many vacation days or else we won't make any more podcasts.
I know. Why don't we look at our second word? Overseas.
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 When you travel overseas, you travel over the ocean.
Over the ocean to another country.
Exactly.
Okay, overseas. Okay, and our third word for language takeaway, unpaid leave.
Unpaid leave.
Unpaid leave.
So this is time off without pay.
Without pay.
Simple.
Right, unpaid leave. And our last word, notice.
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 So we have some great examples on how we use notice, and from these examples, I'm sure you'll be able to understand exactly what they mean.
Example 1.
If you want to quit your job, make sure you give enough notice. You'll need to tell us 4 weeks in advance.
Example 2.
You didn't give me enough notice about this project. I didn't have enough time to finish it.
So when you give someone notice, you give them information in advance.
In advance, right.
So if I want to take time off, I need to give my boss notice, advance information.
Right, 15-day notice or a 20-day notice,
Yeah.
etc. Great, so that's our language takeaway for today. Now we are ready to listen to our dialogue a second time, and this time it's going to be really slow.
Mr. McKenna, do you have a second? I need to talk to you about something.
Sure. Liv, what can I do for you?
Well, I was just wondering, you see, I know I've used up all my vacation days this year, but my sister is getting married, and the wedding is overseas, and, well...
You want to take some time off, is that right?
Well, sir, I was just hoping that I might be able to take some unpaid leave this year.
What dates are you planning on taking off? I'll need at least 2 months' notice so that I can plan for your absence.
I was thinking of taking off from September 1st until the 30th. Would you be okay with that?
I guess so.
A lot of non-native English speakers sometimes feel quite nervous about asking their boss for time off, hey?
Yeah, I guess it's a kind of a difficult subject.
Yeah, but today we're going to teach you some great phrases that you can use next time you need to ask for some time off.
Great, so why don't we take a look at putting it together?
Putting it together.
Okay, so on putting it together today, we're going to talk about some great phrases that you can use when approaching your boss.
Yes. We heard Liv say this.
Do you have a second? Do you have a second?
This is a nice way to make sure your boss isn't busy when you want to ask him something.
Right, but we could also say this in two different ways. Let's listen.
Do you have a minute? I want to ask you something.
Do you have a sec? I need to talk to you.
A great way to approach your boss.
Yeah, I love this phrase, do you have a sec?
Yeah, do you have a sec? It's really natural. Okay, so you've asked your boss for leave, and you want to make sure that he agrees with you.
Yes, and this is how Liv did it.
Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with that?
This is a great pattern, and we've got two other examples of how you can use it.
Example 1.
Are you all right with that?
Example 2.
Will you be okay with this?
Example 3.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, great examples, great patterns, really useful language.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's listen to our dialogue a third time.
Mr. McKenna, do you have a second? I need to talk to you about something.
Sure, Liv, what can I do for you?
Well, I was just wondering, you see, I know I've used up all my vacation days this year, but my sister's getting married and the wedding is overseas and, well...
You want to take some time off, is that right?
Well, sir, I was just hoping I might be able to take some unpaid leave this year.
What dates are you planning on taking off? I'll need at least 2 months' notice so that I can plan for your absence.
I was thinking of taking off from September 1st until the 30th. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I guess so.
I really noticed how Liv in this dialogue used a lot of really polite language, hey?
Yeah, I guess when you're talking to your boss, you really have to be respectful and you have to use really polite language.
What sort of things did she do to make herself seem more polite?
Well, she said a couple of interesting phrases. For example, well, I was just wondering.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Right? It's like, well, she's kind of setting up to ask for a favor or for something.
And she also used another phrase that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, she also said, I was just hoping that...
Yes.
Right? I was just hoping that maybe I could take some time off.
Yeah, again, that sort of doesn't sound too strong, so
Right.
it seems a bit more polite.
Yeah, because if she said, well, I want to take some time off, that's too strong.
Yeah. So I was just hoping.
And then, well, the boss says, okay, well, when do you want to leave? And she says, well, I was thinking of, right? I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Again, if she would have said, I want to.
Yes.
Too strong, right?
Yeah. In English, sometimes we are careful to not be too direct when we're asking for something, right?
Right, yeah.
Because if you're too direct, you sound a little bit impolite.
Yeah, you sound rude.
Yeah.
Okay, so great tips and great things to take into consideration the next time you're talking to your boss.
All right, guys, we're out of time, but thanks for listening. And be sure to check out our website, englishpod.com.
Right, where you can leave all your questions and comments, and we'll be there to answer them. But I guess until then, it's...
Goodbye.
Bye.
My journey at the office. Remember the first day I started at the office? I was nervous, excited, and a little scared at the same time. I had a small backpack with a notebook, a pen, and my lunch. I wanted everything to go perfectly, but I knew it would not be easy. When I walked into the building, it looked very big. The glass doors reflected the sunlight, and people were walking fast, carrying papers and talking on phones. I felt small. I took a deep breath and tried to smile. At the reception desk, a woman looked at me and asked, "Good morning, can I help you?" I said, "Yes, I'm starting my first day. My name is Alex." She smiled and handed me a card. "Welcome, Alex. Please wait for your manager, Mr. Harris. He will show you your desk." I waited for a few minutes, trying to look calm. I watched people working on computers, talking and walking around. Everything looked so busy, and I wondered if I could do my job well. Then a tall man came with a friendly smile. "Hello, you must be Alex. Welcome to the team." I shook his hand and felt a little more comfortable. He was Mr. Harris, my new manager. He showed me my desk, my computer, and my chair. Everything was new, and I tried to remember all the instructions. "Today, I will help you understand your tasks," he said. "We work as a team here. If you have questions, ask anytime." I nodded. I wanted to prove that I could work hard. The first task was simple: organize some files, enter information into the computer, and learn how our system worked. I worked carefully and slowly because I did not want to make mistakes. My hands were a little shaky at first, but after a while, I felt more confident. During lunch, I sat alone at first. I was shy and I did not know anyone. But then a few coworkers smiled and invited me to join them. We ate sandwiches and talked about small things like the weather and coffee. I laughed a little and I felt happy. After lunch, Mr. Harris asked me to help with a small project. It was a little difficult, but I tried my best. I asked questions when I did not understand, and he helped me. I realized that it was okay to make mistakes at first. What mattered was learning and improving. By the end of the first day, I was tired, but proud. I had learned many new things, met some friendly people, and done my first real work in the office. I knew the journey would be long, but I felt ready to start. That night, I went home thinking about my first day. I knew I wanted to work hard, learn as much as possible, and one day, maybe, become someone important in this office. I was ready for the challenge. The second day at the office came quickly. I woke up early again, packed my bag, and tried to feel less nervous than yesterday. I was learning, and I wanted to do better than the first day. When I arrived, I noticed more people were arriving at the same time. Some smiled at me, and I smiled back. I felt that slowly, I was becoming part of the office. Mr. Harris greeted me with a smile. "Good morning, Alex. Are you ready for today?" "Yes, sir," I said, trying to sound confident. He nodded. "Today, I will show you more about our projects. You will help the team, and you will learn many new things." I spent the morning learning to use new software on the computer. It was difficult at first. Sometimes I made mistakes, and sometimes I forgot small steps. But I remembered what Mr. Harris said. It is okay to make mistakes. Learn and try again. During the day, I watched my coworkers closely. They were fast, organized, and seemed to know everything. I wanted to be like them. I wrote notes in my notebook so I could remember everything. At lunchtime, my new friends invited me again. We talked about work, hobbies, and even favorite movies. I laughed and felt happy. It was nice to know that work could be friendly too. In the afternoon, I was asked to prepare a small report. I typed carefully, checked all numbers, and asked questions when I was unsure. Mr. Harris came to see my work. "Good job, Alex. You are learning quickly," he said. I felt proud. For the first time, I realized that hard work was starting to pay off. By the end of the day, I was tired, but my heart felt strong. I knew the road ahead would be long. I wanted to learn more, do more, and become someone who could help the office succeed. That night, I reviewed my notes and thought about my goals. I wanted to improve every day, step by step. I wanted one day to become a leader, someone who could inspire others, just like Mr. Harris inspired me. The third day at the office was even more challenging. I knew I had to learn fast, and I wanted to show Mr. Harris that I was serious about my work. When I arrived, the office was busy as always. People were talking on phones, typing on computers, and walking quickly between desks. I took a deep breath and walked to my desk. Mr. Harris came over. "Alex, today you will help with a team project. It is a small task but important. You will work with Sarah and John." I nodded. I had met them before, but today we would work closely together. I felt a little nervous. We started the project. Sarah explained the steps and John typed while I organized the information. At first, it was hard to follow. Sometimes I did not understand what to do, but I asked politely, and my teammates helped me. "Don't worry, Alex," Sarah said. "Everyone makes mistakes when they start. Just try your best." I smiled. Their words gave me confidence. I realized that teamwork was important. No one could do everything alone. By lunchtime, we finished the first part of the project. Mr. Harris came to see our work. "Good job, team. Alex, you are improving every day," he said. I felt proud. I remembered the first day when I was nervous and did not know anything. Now, I could help the team and contribute. After lunch, I continued learning more about the office system. I asked questions, took notes, and watched carefully how experienced coworkers worked. Every small task I learned made me feel stronger. At the end of the day, I walked home thinking about what I had learned. I realized that working hard, asking questions, and helping the team were the keys to success. I wanted to improve every day and become someone important in this office. That night, I wrote a small plan. I wanted to practice new skills, be kind to coworkers, and always try my best. I knew the journey would take time, but I was ready. It was now my 4th week at the office. By this time, I had begun to feel a little more confident in my work, but every day still brought new challenges. I had learned the basics, how to use the computer system, how to organize files, and how to communicate with my coworkers. But real work was much more complicated than I had imagined, and I knew I had a lot to learn if I wanted to succeed. On Monday morning, I arrived early as usual. The building was quiet, except for a few early birds typing on their computers. I walked slowly to my desk, trying to mentally prepare for the day. My manager, Mr. Harris, was already there, reviewing a stack of papers. He looked up and gave me a nod. "Good morning, Alex," he said warmly. "I have a few new tasks for you today. They are more complicated than before, but I am sure you are ready." I nodded. I felt nervous, but I was also excited. I wanted to prove that I could handle these tasks and show that I was capable of more than simple filing and data entry. The first task was to organize a set of client reports that had been left incomplete. I had to check every detail, enter information into the system, and make sure that nothing was missing. It was overwhelming at first because there were hundreds of pages, numbers, and dates to check. I took a deep breath, opened my notebook, and started methodically going through each report. Hours passed as I worked carefully. Sometimes I would make a small mistake, a date was wrong, or a number didn't match the form. But I reminded myself of what Mr. Harris had told me. It's okay to make mistakes. Learn from them and do better next time. I corrected each mistake patiently, and with each correction I felt a little more confident. During lunch, Sarah and John invited me to eat with them. As we sat down in the cafeteria, I realized how much I had changed in just a few weeks. I was no longer the shy new employee who didn't know anyone. I was now part of a team. We laughed and shared stories about our weekends, favorite movies, and even small office jokes. Their kindness made me feel included and motivated. After lunch, I returned to my desk to continue the reports. This time, I felt more focused. I had developed a system for checking details, which helped me work faster and more accurately. Occasionally, I would pause and ask Sarah or John for advice when I was unsure, and they were always patient and helpful. I realized that asking questions was not a sign of weakness. It was a way to learn and improve. By mid-afternoon, Mr. Harris came to check on my progress. "Alex, you are doing a good job," he said. "I see improvement every day. Keep focusing and don't rush. Accuracy is more important than speed." His words motivated me. I worked with renewed determination, carefully reviewing every page. By the end of the day, I had completed the reports. I felt exhausted, but I also felt proud. I had faced a challenging task and succeeded. For the first time, I truly believed that I could handle difficult assignments and contribute meaningfully to the office. That evening, I stayed for a few minutes after everyone left. I reviewed my notes, organized my tasks for the next day, and reflected on the progress I had made. Each day, I was learning not only about the technical aspects of my job, but also about patience, focus, and perseverance. I realized that success did not come overnight, and every small step mattered. Monday morning arrived, and I walked into the office with a mixture of excitement and determination. The familiar faces of coworkers greeted me with smiles, and I returned each one. The office, which once felt overwhelming, now felt like a space where I could learn, grow, and contribute. I greeted the receptionist and walked to my desk, feeling that familiar mix of anticipation and focus. Mr. Harris, my manager, called me into his office. "Alex, we have a complex client project that will require careful attention to detail," he said. "You will work with Sarah, John, and Emily. I want you to take the lead on organizing the data and making sure everything is accurate." I nodded, feeling a surge of responsibility. This was a big step for me. Taking on leadership of a task, even a small one, meant that I was trusted, and I wanted to live up to that trust. The morning was filled with preparation. I reviewed the client files, made notes, and organized the steps we needed to take. Emily showed me some shortcuts for the database system, while Sarah guided me on how to cross-check information efficiently. John focused on calculations and summaries. Together, we formed a rhythm, supporting each other and dividing the workload logically. As the day progressed, I encountered challenges I had not faced before. Some files were incomplete, numbers didn't match, and occasionally a report had conflicting information. My first instinct was panic, but I remembered the advice Mr. Harris had given me. "Alex, mistakes are opportunities to learn. Take a deep breath, think carefully, and correct them." I tackled each problem one by one, slowly but steadily resolving the issues. Lunchtime came as a welcome break. We gathered in the cafeteria, laughing and sharing stories about past work experiences and small personal anecdotes. Emily told us about her first week in another office, and Sarah shared how she learned to handle difficult clients. Their stories reminded me that everyone had started somewhere and that growth took patience and perseverance. Returning to our project after lunch, I felt a renewed sense of determination. I double-checked every entry, collaborated closely with my teammates, and made sure that nothing was overlooked. By the late afternoon, Mr. Harris came to review our progress. "Alex, your leadership and attention to detail are impressive," he said. "You are showing initiative and growth. Keep it up, and you will go far in this office." Hearing those words filled me with pride. For the first time, I realized that all the small steps I had taken, learning the system, asking questions, correcting mistakes, building relationships, had led to a meaningful achievement. I felt that I had proven to myself and to others that I was capable of more than I had imagined. The following days and weeks continued in a similar rhythm. Each morning, I arrived prepared, reviewing my notes and planning my tasks. Each afternoon, I collaborated, solved problems, and learned new skills. I discovered that success in an office was not just about technical skills, but also about communication, patience, teamwork, and the ability to adapt. One particular challenge stood out. A major report had to be completed and submitted to a client by the end of the week. There were several errors in the initial draft, and the deadline was tight. I felt the pressure, but instead of panicking, I focused on the steps I could control. I organized the files, coordinated with my teammates, and created a checklist to track progress. I stayed late each evening, making sure every detail was perfect. By Friday afternoon, we had completed the report and submitted it on time. Mr. Harris called the team together. "Excellent work, everyone. Alex, your leadership on this project was remarkable. You managed tasks, guided your teammates, and maintained quality under pressure. Well done." I felt a wave of satisfaction and relief. All the weeks of effort, learning, mistakes, corrections, and persistence had led to this moment. I realized that growth was a process, not an instant achievement. Each challenge I faced, each lesson I learned, contributed to my development and confidence. Reflecting on my journey so far, I saw how much I had changed. I was no longer the nervous newcomer who hesitated to ask questions or feared making mistakes. I had become someone who could take responsibility, contribute to a team, solve problems, and maintain patience under pressure. I had learned that confidence was built through consistent effort, learning, and self-belief. That evening, I wrote in my personal notebook. I reflected on my progress, documented lessons learned, and set goals for the future. I knew the office would always present new challenges, but I now had the skills, mindset, and determination to meet them. I felt ready for whatever came next. Looking back, I understood the true meaning of growth. It wasn't just about completing tasks or earning praise. It was about learning, improving, and becoming the best version of myself in a professional and personal sense. I knew that my journey at the office was far from over, but I was proud of how far I had come and excited for the opportunities ahead. And so my journey continued, day by day, challenge by challenge, learning and growing, building relationships, and striving to achieve my full potential. Each step I took reinforced a simple truth. Success is the sum of effort, patience, and perseverance, and the journey itself is just as important as the destination. It was now several months since I had started working at the office. The nervous, uncertain person I had been on my first day seemed like a distant memory. Each day of learning, each challenge, and each success had shaped me into someone more confident, capable, and aware of my strengths and weaknesses. Monday morning began like any other, but I felt a deep sense of purpose as I walked into the office. I greeted my coworkers, exchanged smiles, and settled into my workspace with a clear plan for the day. Today, I was not only performing my usual tasks, but also taking on additional responsibilities to support the team and contribute to long-term projects. Mr. Harris approached me holding a new file. "Alex, I have a special assignment for you. It's a comprehensive project for an important client. You will be leading the team, managing deadlines, and ensuring quality. I trust you to handle it well." I felt a mix of excitement and pressure. Leading an entire project was a big responsibility, but I knew that months of learning, asking questions, and working closely with my colleagues had prepared me for this moment. I accepted the challenge with determination. The first step was to organize the team and plan the workflow. I called a meeting with Sarah, John, and Emily. "We have a big project ahead, but I believe we can manage it efficiently if we divide tasks and communicate clearly," I said. I shared my plan, outlined deadlines, and asked for their feedback. Their approval and willingness to cooperate made me feel supported. The project was complex. It involved reviewing client data, preparing detailed reports, cross-checking information, and presenting recommendations. Each task required focus, accuracy, and teamwork. As we began, I encountered unexpected challenges. Some data files were incomplete, some reports contained errors, and deadlines were tighter than expected. I reminded myself to stay calm, focus on solutions, and lead by example. Throughout the process, communication was key. I checked in with each teammate regularly, offered assistance, and encouraged them to share difficulties or ideas. Emily found a way to automate part of the data entry, saving hours of work. John suggested a better way to organize the reports, which reduced mistakes. Sarah helped review and proofread everything before submission. I realized that leadership was not just about giving instructions, but about listening, collaborating, and valuing everyone's input. Days turned into weeks as we worked tirelessly. There were moments of stress, late nights, and small frustrations, but also moments of triumph, laughter, and shared achievement. Each successfully completed section of the project reinforced our confidence and showed that teamwork, patience, and persistence paid off. Finally, the day came to submit the project. Mr. Harris reviewed our work one last time. "Alex, this is excellent. You have led the team effectively, managed the challenges, and delivered a high-quality project. I am very proud of your growth and achievement." Hearing his words filled me with a deep sense of accomplishment. I looked around at my teammates who had worked tirelessly alongside me, and we shared a quiet moment of pride and relief. The project was complete, but more importantly, I had learned valuable lessons about leadership, teamwork, and perseverance. Reflecting on my journey, I realized how far I had come. The journey was not just about completing tasks or earning recognition. It was about personal growth, developing confidence, and learning to face challenges with resilience. I had transformed from a nervous newcomer into a competent, respected member of the team who could take initiative and handle responsibility. The months of effort, mistakes, corrections, and successes had all led to this point. I understood that professional growth required patience, practice, and dedication. Each challenge had taught me something new: how to communicate better, how to solve problems, how to manage stress, and how to support others. As I left the office that evening, I felt a profound sense of satisfaction. I knew that my journey was ongoing. There would always be new challenges, new skills to learn, and new opportunities to grow. But I also knew that I had developed the tools, mindset, and confidence to succeed in whatever came next. I looked forward to the future with optimism. My journey at the office had taught me that success is not just about results, but about learning, perseverance, and teamwork. It was about taking small steps every day, learning from mistakes, and celebrating progress along the way. And so, my journey came to a meaningful milestone. I was no longer the uncertain, nervous person who had walked into the office months ago. I was someone capable, resilient, and ready to embrace new challenges. My experience had transformed me, not just as an employee, but as a person. I understood that every challenge faced, every lesson learned, and every success achieved was part of a lifelong journey of growth and self-improvement. From that day onward, I approached each task with confidence, each challenge with determination, and each interaction with respect and empathy. I knew that the skills, experiences, and lessons I had gained would guide me for the rest of my career and beyond. My journey at the office had not just been about work. It had been about learning who I was, what I was capable of, and how I could contribute meaningfully to the world around me. And with that understanding, I looked ahead, ready for the next chapter of my life, knowing that the journey itself, full of challenges, growth, and discovery, was the most valuable part of all.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Have some time, not busy.
Have a second.
Take all of something.
Use up.
In another country across the ocean.
Overseas.
Stop working for a short time.
Take some time off.
Information that tells you about something or warns about something.
Notice.
Agree.
Be okay with that.
Time away from work that is not paid.
Unpaid leave.
Let's try that faster. Time away from work that is not paid.
Unpaid leave.
Information that tells you about something or warns about something.
Notice.
Stop working for a short time.
Take some time off.
Take all of something.
Use up.
In another country across the ocean.
Overseas.
Agree.
Be okay with that.
Take all of something.
Use up.
Stop working for a short time.
Take some time off.
Have some time, not busy.
Have a second.
Stop working for a short time.
Take some time off.
Have some time, not busy.
Have a second.
Take all of something.
Use up.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Have a second. Do you have a sec? I need to talk to you. Use up. I'm afraid I cannot join you for this trip. I've used up all my vacation days. Overseas. I've never traveled overseas. Take some time off. I have an exam tomorrow. May I take some time off today to study? Notice. If you want to quit your job, make sure you give enough notice. You'll need to tell us 4 weeks in advance. Overseas. I've never traveled overseas. Take some time off. I have an exam tomorrow. May I take some time off today to study? Notice. If you want to quit your job, make sure you give enough notice. You'll need to tell us 4 weeks in advance.